Catching this off a wild feed off 87 West. CNN news feed, I assume.
Arizona's one of the only places where you have the warm desert and then literally hit the rim and all of a sudden it's
a little behind the scenes.
Then we see just the trees, everything changes.
Yeah, totally.
1 minute. I'm getting the feeling that Colin might be a good Jeopardy contestant.
Yeah.
I try every year. I can't even have some first test.
A little behind the scenes stuff.
30 seconds.
This old thing makes a clicking noise when you turn the volume up. I hate those Samsung, it ain't nothing but junk.
We are just a few hours from former President Jimmy Carter starting his last journey away from home. We're already seeing people starting to line up to send him off, and they say that their friend is leaving a lasting legacy.
A little more activity. Kind of slow. Still nothing going on here. I see the windmills turning a little bit. Last time I was over there, it was pumping water. Pretty much broke down now. I see the windmills turning a little bit. Last time I was over there, it was pumping water. Pretty much broke down now. Car in the background. I hear a rooster.
For the former president from his hometown, which is here in Plains, before he ends up coming back at the end of the week. It starts at about 10:30. There's going to be a motorcade that's going to leave the medical center. That's where his body currently is.
Now it done backed up another 30 minutes.
Will be there as well. And alongside that motorcade is going to be Secret Service agents.
10:30, 9:30. It's just 8:48 now.
And then the motorcade will break off from that. They'll end up coming down here through Main Street, where behind me here, there's a lot of supporters here, as well as people that just want to witness history. But Jimmy Carter was a friend to so many in this community. It was quite the consequential decision for him to come back here, to live back at home after being in the White House. The motorcade will then go to Carter's boyhood home. It will stop there for a few minutes. There will be 39 rings of the bell there before that motorcade continues on to the Georgia state capitol, because Jimmy Carter was once the Georgia governor. After that stop, the motorcade will head to the Carter Center in Atlanta for a service, and then that will be the first time later this afternoon when the public gets their first chance to go and give their final goodbyes and remember Jimmy Carter in person. Thanks, guys. You too. Take care.
There's a picture of his boyhood home again.
And when Carter stops at his childhood home, when the
Okay,
motorcade
let me
stops,
switch
there'll
over
be a
to that.
bell that'll be rung for 39 times to represent being the 39th president of the United States. This is one of many moments that will happen here over the next handful of days as Carter goes from Atlanta to D.C. and then ultimately back here to Plains, Georgia, his home, to be buried next to Rosalind Carter, his wife of 77 years. Live in Plains, Georgia. I'm Brian Edward reporting. Thanks.
Okay, let me switch over to this other one. See if we see anything. Nothing. See somebody walking there.
National Historic Park.
Okay,
Randy,
now we
ring
switch
that
back
bell
over to Channel
at the
9.
Jimmy Carter Boyhood Farm there. Very pivotal moment for him as well. 39 rings. And the remains of the late President Jimmy Carter will eventually be taken to Washington, D.C. But first, the journey begins in America.
Sumter County is where President Carter called home, and Phoebe Sumter Medical is where he and the late First Lady Rosalind received much of their medical care in recent years. And joining us now live is News Leader 9's Mason Woodworth, who is at the hospital where President Carter's body will shortly depart from with the Carter family motorcade. Macy, talk to us a little bit about what's happening now and what we can expect to see not only today but over the course of these next few days.
Yeah, first and foremost, good morning to you both. And this is obviously a huge, significant day for the country and the world. And as you said,
that's in
Rosalind, this
America.
is where the journey begins.
Let me
This is the first
switch
day
over
of
to
the state
this other
funeral
one back
for
on the side
former
right
President
over here.
Jimmy Carter. This
See
is also
what
the
we
first
can
day
get.
of the 6-day commemoration and
That's
observances
that
that the
medical
public are
center
going to
I
be
had
able
a
to be
picture
a
of a
part of.
while
So
ago.
right now behind me is Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. This is here in America.
Let me switch over back over to here. Let's see anything. Nothing.
You really
Now I'm
kind of
back over
peek. You might be
here.
able to see a flower or two, but there is a huge wreath behind some individuals. That's where people can stop. They can bring letters. They can bring items, flowers, whatever that they feel would honor the late President Carter the most. And we popped by yesterday, actually, and there was still quite a few items there that people were bringing actually early if they weren't able to make it today. And luckily, you know, the weather is holding up today. I mean, blue skies, it's sunny, obviously, you know, a little bit cold, but I
Stupid off-air glitch. Every time the wind blows, that's what I cannot stand about this crap. Alright, there's the motorcade. Let's see if I can get any good stuff here on this. On 87 West. They just put another feed up. So maybe I might get something here.
Wow. You can't hear Ryan B through there. You gotta ask Kenny. I hear PL.
Alright, let's switch over to this here.
Colin. You're rolling? Okay. So, who should I chat with side? On the other side, Mike? Okay. All right. Hey, Will. Hello. So, okay, you come from Florida. I hear you're kind of a little bit of a Jimmy Carter enthusiast. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I like him because he was a good person. He put solar panels on the White House, so that was a good thing. But he also, in his post-presidency, he was a really good humanitarian guy. He built homes for people into his 90s, which is really impressive. And he lived to 100, which is really impressive too. So he was doing things throughout his entire life up until he went into hospice. I remember.
So obviously he was, it was 2 years that he was there, but this day was going to come. What was it going to be your mission to be here no matter what? Tell me what it's like for you, what it means to you to be here today.
I guess I'm going here because I want to pay respects to President Carter, I think. And we went here because on like the 1st of January, we were at a park and we found the funeral scheduled, and so we saw, oh yeah, we could go on here, and so we just decided to do it. So, yeah. Yes.
So now you're going to be front row to history.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions now. Thank you. No, you're good. Having experienced. Oh, it's okay. I got you. Okay, so having experienced the Carter presidency, what does it mean for you to be here?
It feels hopeful because I'm here with my grandson and he's getting to witness history, and he appreciates the integrity and the character of President Carter, and so it makes me feel hopeful that there are young people paying attention and that they're interested in what's happening in our country and in the world.
I want to hit on that idea a little bit more. Do you feel like that is something that's not always a shining example in modern politics?
Definitely not now. No, we could use some more of Jimmy Carter's humility and just his genuine concern for humanity.
There's only so many presidents, right? Much less so many that are alive right now. To be able to experience this thing, it's not in everybody's backyard, so I know you guys travel a long way. Why was it so important for you to be here?
It was important to me because my grandson asked me to come. Yeah, I'm just so impressed by him. So that's.
Couldn't say no to a grandson.
No, and we have been here to visit a few times before, but I'm really happy that he suggested it. It feels really special and important to be here. He just lived right down the road. I just met a young man in the cafe that knew him, so it's pretty neat.
That's how tight-knit he was with his community.
Yeah, he was a humble person, but he did great things. Sure. Susan Cone, C-O-N-E, like a pine cone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what about you, little man?
I'm Will Porter. Will Porter Shelbrock, so P-O-R-T-E-R, and then S-H-E-L-B-R-O-C-K. Not high.
Or do you think they got it covered? All right.
It's a real shame that at this point in America's history, that within the last 5 years, no one has stepped forward that has all of the characteristics of Mr. Carter. Because I think that person would have been able to lead us off for the next 8 years in a direction that America needs to go.
That's well said. All right, let me get your name as well.
First name George.
There's another shot. Back to the boyhood home, nothing going on. Alright, I'm back on regular TV. Maybe it won't freeze up.
Painted an image of the sanitarium. He did so in 2011 and gifted it to Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. And this is a 40 by 30 oil on canvas and is titled My Birthplace Maya.
Yeah, he grew up in rural South Georgia and has always been home to President Carter. It is where he was born, where he continued to return after his years in the U.S. Navy as governor and as president. It was important to President Carter to pay tribute to the people in his region, and as you can see, those people in that region have showed up today to pay his respect. And as Nancy said, he was a man who had a lot of respect.
Definitely so, and indicative of what's happening today. The services that are planned, everything has been so methodically planned. And interestingly enough, Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind both had very intricate part and the decision-making process of this funeral. And of course, they left the management of it to key staff members, but they have invited guests who were very important to them. Their Secret Service members. The events planned over the next 5 days are very important places for the Carters.
Yeah, Rosalind, each location included in this state funeral is important to President Carter, as each guest group musical selections were made by Miss Carter, highlighting President Carter's favorite hymns and songs.
Now we can see the hearse making its way very slowly through the route, heading there to Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. And in just a few minutes, you will see former agents carrying the casket from the hospital to the hearse. These men led teams protecting President and Mrs. Carter for over 40 years, putting their lives on the line for his. And they were more than a security.
Those of us who don't remember his presidency too clearly because of our age, we were maybe too young to remember some of the details. You could see flashbacks. He had flashed that famous grin of his. You'd see that in Sunday school. And it kind of, would take people back and say, you know what, if I was old enough, this is the kind of thing I would have been able to see. But I was able to see it years down the road. Sometimes he would talk about in his Sunday school class.
Yeah.
Talk about decisions that he made and connected to his religious tradition.
And Dr. Barber, some moving images right now, as we're seeing the hearse move very slowly from Phoebe Sumter Medical Center to make that trek now to Plains, Georgia, to President Jimmy Carter's hometown.
Yes, and that motorcade will be going to, they're now be heading to the Boyhood farm.
Let's see. Let me switch it back over here to this other one.
We just met a young man in the cafe that so it's pretty neat.
That's how tight knit he was with his community.
Yeah, he was a humble person, but he did great things.
Sure.
Susan Combs.
Switching them back and forth. I'm going to switch over to regular TV.
And then the casket's journey to Atlanta and then to Washington. That's his life, right? That's his political career. And of course, my interest is in politics. And it's important to remember that the foundation of his politics is here in Sumter County, right?
Okay. There's a peanut trailer. Taking some pictures on this. There's that motorcade right there. Coming into Plains. Going through these channels here. Just like being there, ain't it?
Do it again.
Coming off the satellite. got to town yet. There we are. Okay. We're right through the plains. I ain't there, but I'm at home watching it on TV. Get it off this satellite. Jimmy Carter motorcade, Plains, Georgia. I'm gonna switch it to a different channel. Okay, we go back. I think that's it. Let me switch it over here. This is coming off satellite 87 West. This is the boyhood home right here. Right there. I'm gonna switch it over to this next one here. Not that one. Let's see, it must be it right here. They switched it up. Let's see. No, they must have switched it up. They had it on a different one a while ago. Okay, right there. That's where I want to go. Right there. That motorcade will be coming that way pretty soon, I think. Coming from out of Plains, Georgia, coming back down that way. There comes the motorcade. I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna switch this back over to regular TV.
The same farm that Jimmy Carter first encountered in Shaft against racial segregation. President Carter tells a story about walking through a stile in the fence with his childhood
They are going in there.
playmates, all of whom were black when he was 18, and suddenly they stopped and indicated that he should go first.
Okay, I'm gonna switch it back over. I'm gonna go back to this other one here. to switch back over to regular TV.
When President Carter actually encountered his first sense of racism, and he defied it in that we were seeing he was playing with his black playmates. All of his childhood playmates were black. We're going to pause for a minute and take a look at this image coming down now as they're heading towards that farm. The motorcade of President Jimmy Carter.
That was a quick trip from America's. I think it didn't take about 7 minutes. And they left that hospital.
And this is something that he wanted to do. He and Rosalind planned the pivotal points that you're seeing throughout the service today, as well as on the coming days leading up to Thursday and the burial, in those places being so very important to he and his wife of 77 years, and everything meticulously planned out by them in the decision-making process. And as I was telling that story earlier about a relationship that he had with the blacks and his black friends, and he said that, you know, when he was asked why the boys explained that he was white and that their father had told them that they were old enough to start acknowledging it, they wanted him to go first in the line, but he said no, we're not doing that. Basically, they were his friends and his equals. He saw them, and the skin color didn't make a difference. And at that moment, that was when the seed of racial justice was planted in young Jimmy Carter, who would bear fruit for the rest of his life. And that fruit will continue through the Carter Center as we see the foundation. They're continuing their efforts. A lot of them are going to be paying a part in this particular service in Atlanta that we'll see later on today. And this is also an opportunity for the public to pay their respects, as we've seen people line the motorcade route there here in Americas this morning, now in Plains, and they'll also be doing so in Atlanta earlier today, because he was an all-inclusive type president. He wanted to make sure everyone felt included. Let's take a listen. And Randy Dillard is a lifelong resident of South Georgia who began his National Park Service career in March of 2010. Ringing that bell today.
Okay, I'm gonna switch it back.
Sounding hollow, like it's picking up a different mic. 1, 2. He says thanks, Mr. Calloway.
Atlanta, I believe. Washington. Back to that. Boyhood home. And this guy here fixing to say something, but I'm going to switch it back to regular TV.
The different encounters with them as a political science professor there, and even visiting Maranatha Baptist Church during the Sunday school services.
Okay, let me switch back over to this. See if he says anything.
30 seconds. Are they still at the Boyhood home, or have they moved on? Let me know if that changes. Starting to move.
Watching behind the scenes. Let me switch back.
We've only had 45 individuals to actually serve in this office, so this is one of those, rare moments that we have. It's a patriotic moment. It's a moment that, no matter your
now
politics,
he's headed to Atlanta, Georgia.
Together to appreciate this individual, Jimmy Carter, his military service, right? His service to his Christian faith, his service to humanity. I mean, he's a global phenomenon. I mean, this is being covered around
all them
the
peanut
world.
trees, pecan trees,
talking
and the
about
I said
here-
peanut. I don't
here
know why I
he
said
is,
peanut.
his body.
All them pecan
For
trees.
eternity, he's going to be laid to rest here next to the love of his life of 77 years. And we're talking about a place of about 600 people. Sumter County is a place of about 30,000 people. Those counties that you just mentioned, right? Southwest Georgia was the political base for Jimmy Carter. This was Carter country, right? And in 1976, when he ran for president, all 159 counties of the state of Georgia voted for Jimmy Carter. Well, today, they're all with him again. And I think all of the states are with him. And, again, the world is watching a truly an amazing individual. This first couple, right, of Jimmy and Rosalind Carter, right? We all admire them. And you would have to have a heart of stone, I think, a little bit, right? And
Looks like the TV signal's starting to break up. I can't stand regular TV. Let me switch back.
Did everything he could for people. I think that's a legacy in itself.
Carter will also be remembered for his diplomacy, championing of human rights, and his life of service.
A lot of people in this world are out there carrying on his legacy, so it doesn't fall on any of us in particular, and that's a heartening thing, because it would be very difficult to live up to if you tried.
And while that motorcade stopped at the childhood home, a bell was rung 39 times to signify the 39th President of the United States. It will be another journey for the former president, leaving Atlanta on Tuesday for Washington, D.C. for more events there at the Navy Memorial, the Capitol, and then Washington National Cathedral, where the funeral will be held on Thursday before he is flown back here to be laid to rest next to his wife of 77 years, Rosalind Carter. Live in Plains, Georgia, I'm Brian Amber reporting. Back to you.
Let's switch it up. See what else I can find here. Looks like that's about it. I think the motorcades can drive right back through there again. Headed back to Atlanta. Let me go back over here. Okay, let me switch back over to regular TV and see if this signal came back in. Nope. TV, regular TV, antenna TV's garbage.
The most popular, but would you agree that his post work from when he left the presidency is unparalleled so far?
Yes, and I'm just going to kind of...
Well, that's about it.
Kind of deviate from that. That there's this consensus.
This TV signal's starting to break up again. I'm on regular
Perhaps the
TV.
greatest ex-president we ever had.
But this
I think he actually was a pretty
station's about
and the reason
140
why I say
miles
that,
from here.
and why I put that forward is that so
Can't
many
be
things
expected.
that he did in his post-presidency are
Channel
grounded
9's
in
about
the
140
presidency.
miles from where I'm
It's
at.
just you're not turmoil in it. You don't have to
Over
worry
in
about
Columbus.
elections, going
I
forward.
live right here at the
But
tip
think
of
about the major
southeast
things
Alabama.
that we contend with
That's about
today, think about today.
about 120 miles
The
here where the
trends that he
transmitter
put
is.
into place, the
So it can't be expected if that signal breaks up. I'm on
This
a
is his
tower,
legacy. Just again,
but I'm gonna
an
switch.
example.
I'm gonna
Think
switch
of
back
policy,
over to
whether it's
satellite,
Panama Canal Treaties,
over to
diplomatic
87
recognition,
West one
China
more
aiming
time.
for peace,
See what's
in the
on there.
Middle East, trying to contain
Switch it right
Iran.
back over to 87 West and go back to my HDMI 3 and see what we get. They're just standing there. I think that's about it. That's the same shot I had a while ago on the over the air channel. They must be a little bit of, I don't think they left. I think they went inside the farm and did a little bit of private something because the road's still blocked. I've noticed when they drove up that road around there with them pecan trees, or they might have a little private ceremony there. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. But I think that's it. It's either that or they didn't, motorcade is all on its way to Atlanta, or either they turned right in there with them pecan trees. Seemed that there was a road back in there. They might have had a little private ceremony or something, but I don't know. Or it might be headed toward Atlanta, the motorcade. I don't know. That's weird that police car be blocking that road. Unless they're still up there at the farm, the motorcade. Yeah, I noticed that's probably why they're still standing there, because they probably had a back. I noticed that when that car was coming back this way, they made a right-hand turn up into that little driveway where them pecan trees were, right there on the other side, on behind them. I was kind of wondering they might have a little ceremony or something, so they're gonna drive the motorcade, and it's not over. They're gonna leave and head back. But I'm not sure. Or they're just standing there waiting for different orders. I don't know. I'll just sit here and wait and see, because that could be it, or it could have left and went a different direction. The motorcade's already left, but they're standing out there for a reason. I assume that car's still out there in that field out there where them pecan trees is. They probably got some kind of private ceremony going on. I seen it turn a right into that field out there, all them cars. They wouldn't be standing out there for nothing. And see, they all done left. You see, that car's still blocking that entrance right there into that farm, that Boyhood Homes. So I assume it's going to leave back out there and go right back down that road and head back that way. Might take instead of going to Plains, it might bypass Plains going to Atlanta. There we go. See, they're pulling right back out now. They left out that field. They just circled around. They was out in that field. They had some kind of private ceremony going on, I would assume. Now they all leave. They look like they're heading back toward Plains. But they might instead of going to Plains, they might take a left and bypass Plains and go right on back toward them, back toward Columbus, back to Atlanta. I don't know exactly the direction they're going to go, though. So I figure I'd bring that up. Yeah, I'm just doing all this behind the scenes. Now they headed toward Atlanta. But I knew they had something going on out in that field out there behind them pecan trees. They had a little private ceremony or something. So they'll either head back to Plains, or they'll make a left and they'll bypass Plains and go back up toward Columbus and head back to Atlanta going that way. I don't know which way they're going to go. I might switch it over to regular TV and see. Let's see if I can get a signal, because that signal died a while ago on regular TV. Let's see if I can get a signal on here now. You know, it's some kind of ad. It's all over. They just running some ad on there. So it's not even on regular TV no more. But looks like they headed back to Plains. I bet they'll make a left and bypass Plains. Go back toward Atlanta. Of course, I could be wrong. So he's left the Boyhood farm and headed on up to Atlanta now. There's the couple more cars coming out there. That's what I like about this satellite TV, and get some of this behind the scenes stuff. There's a few spectators up the road right there. They probably know what's going on. Everybody else in town done left. I'm gonna switch back over to these other channels here, see if there's anything else on. See, everybody done left, see. See if he got anything to say. Alright, I'm gonna switch it back over here to this other. It's quiet there now. Quiet there. It's quiet there. I guess they headed toward Atlanta. Well, that's it on this. I didn't make no trip. I guess it's about as good as it's going to make the trip, because I guarantee if I made that trip to Plains, Georgia, I wouldn't have videoed all this stuff off these feeds. I probably got a better bird's eye view getting it off these feeds here at home watching this, because if I was at Plains, all I'd have got to see was them cars going through there just whizzing by real quick, and I wouldn't have seen nothing. Well, Jimmy Carter, he's headed to Atlanta, Georgia, and after he leaves Atlanta, Georgia, he's going to go to the U.S. Capitol, and then he's going to come back to Plains and be buried. So that's it for now. I'm done. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, there's a feed on 87 west of him, Jimmy Carter, at his presidential center. He'll be there on Monday morning.